There needs to be someone better who can be sent out to do this stuff. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Is she being sent out or is she freelancing? Because I don't know. She could basically she's so many media contacts. She can do whatever she wants.
I guess. Yeah. Kevin McCarthy goes on to the news occasionally. He's not doing them any favors. I think the Republicans, which is why we play it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Right.
There's a reason why we play every time he goes on the news, because he's hurting Republicans.
And I'm sorry, the negative partisanship surrounding the name Kevin McCarthy is like peanuts in comparison to the negative partisanship surrounding Nancy Pelosi.
And say what you will for Nancy Pelosi's ability to legislate, or at the very least, control her caucus, which she was quite good at. She would never bring a bill on the floor that wasn't going to pass. Now, there was a lot of things that I think she also stopped from getting on there just from an ideological basis. Certainly, she was against Medicare for all and whatnot, and she wasn't alone. I mean, I would say probably half the Democratic caucus at a minimum is against it, or maybe about half. Nevertheless, she was never good at political messaging, and this is embarrassing. I hope that somebody close to her says, like, maybe this is a good time for us to say we're done going out and doing this. Here is Nancy Pelosi on with Katie Tur, and look, there's so many things that were bad about Donald Trump. Trying to be clever and making up stuff is stupid.
There's nothing in his performance, if that's the word we'll use, what he has done, that would indicate that he cares, prioritizes, or ever valued or did anything to support a democracy. And now on the ballot saying he should have immunity from whatever he might do. I mean, really, I have sympathy and respect for everybody who votes. I'm glad people vote. I know some of them will always reject those of us who may look different to them in leadership or the rest, and that's that. But there are those who have real legitimate concerns about immigration, globalization, innovation, and what does that mean for their job and their family's future? And we have to address those concerns. And Joe Biden is doing that, created 9 million jobs in his term in office. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role, but it ain't mine. And he has the worst.
Anybody can accuse me of that.
But let me just say, as a Speaker of the House, we put forth a $3 trillion bill. $3 trillion of investment in communities and the rest, and that stimulates the economy.
I just want to ask one more question.
I mean, this idea that she has to respond in that way in probably the safest area in which she could go on MSNBC. It just destroys all credibility.
Exactly. Just say, basically, right. And yes, it was a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and you saw how Biden, when he took over during that moment of crisis, recovered from it. The economy immediately recovered. Donald Trump did not handle that pandemic well. He could have saved jobs. He could have made the American people a little bit more secure during this horrible time. This is off the top of my head, responding to this right there.
This is just sort of like a complete rookie stuff. And there are Democrats who just refuse to leave the stage. I mean, the president is one of them, obviously, but she doesn't need to go. Who is she speaking to?
It's amazing.
If she can't even, if she's gotten into an argument with the MSNBC host, who is she supposed to be convincing to vote for Joe Biden? I just don't understand. Is there nobody in the Democratic Party who's like, hey, we should probably have a concerted effort here? Is there nobody at the White House who could say, guys, come on?
Yeah. She's talking literally to the most insular audience possible. with that. So the idea that she would get combative in a friendly environment. Earlier in that interview, she also was just like chastising protesters for using the word genocide, Joe, which seems to be the only, she really had got her goat because she hears it outside her multi-million-dollar house in San Francisco. And how dare those protesters, obviously paid by Russia, obviously, disturb her in any way. It's really weird. Like, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, she's not a popular politician outside of the Democratic Party at all. Like, among independents, Republicans, of course. But, she's basically reached her saturation point. This was part of the problem with Hillary Clinton in 2016, too, where it's like everyone already made up their mind on this person. They've been in public life for way too long. Who are you? What is the value of her going out there at all to make any argument, even the bad ones that she's making right now?
I just let that be, please be the last Nancy Pelosi clip we ever have to play. That's all I say.